Coming up on Sunrise, long wait times to cross at the San Luis border may soon become a thing of the past. Hear more about the city's solutions that might make it faster to cross.
Plus, Yuma Proving Ground celebrated in a big way Tuesday. Find out how the festivities were tied to the U.S. Army.
And Yuma Lettuce Days are switching it up starting next year. Find out what fresh ideas organizers have for 2015 festival. Today is Wednesday, June 18th. Sunrise starts right now.
Live from KYMA Studios, this is News 11 Sunrise, your #1 source for news in the Desert Southwest.
Good morning, Desert Southwest.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Today, Joey has the day off, but I'm joined here with Molly Lang again, so she will be filling in for Joey for the day. So let's go ahead and start right outside. Right now.
And a Calexico man charged in the murder of his mother may finally learn his fate.
Nearly 2 years later, the family may soon be able to start putting all this behind them. News 11's Milrose Bosco reports from El Centro.
Senator Don Shooter's attempt last week to boot his opponent didn't work. Tuesday, a judge ruled his Republican challenger, Toby Farmer, will stay on the August primary ballot. Last week, Shooter's lawyers filed a lawsuit claiming Farmer signed petitions with forged signatures. The judge found that they had been forgeries, but there was no proof that Farmer was responsible.
Maricopa County Sheriff Joe Arpaio endorsed Arizona Attorney General Tom Horn in his re-election campaign. Now, Arpaio says he's impressed with Horn's record as Attorney General. Horn is appealing a complaint in which he and an aide were accused of illegally coordinating outside campaign spending in his 2010 election bid. Now, Horn faces former Arizona Department of Gaming Director Mark Bernovich in the GOP. For any information, you should call Yuma Police at 928-373-4700 or 78-CRIME to remain anonymous.
Living this close to Mexico, you can cross the border to eat, shop, and see a doctor relatively easily. But longer wait times are causing the mess, according to the mayor of San Luis.
The second port of entry in San Luis is for commercial vehicles only. The mayor says allowing the public to use that port is the only way to fix the issue at the border. Nico Santos explains.
The numbers are there. They're growing, and the thing is, we need port of entry too.
If you cross the border at San Luis on a regular basis, you know sometimes it takes a while to cross back. Mayor of the city of San Luis, Gerardo Sanchez, says it's becoming a problem now to cross in both directions.
My main street becomes dysfunctional for the first 8 months out of the year. Basically, no one can cross if you're not waiting in line. I mean, you can wait an hour, hour and a half to cross over into Mexico.
But Mayor Sanchez says there's a way to solve the problem long term.
Port of entry 2, to add possibly 2 or 3 lanes, which will facilitate, make it easier to cross.
The alternative is to add lanes to the current entry for private cars. According to Mayor Sanchez, the difference would be millions of taxpayer dollars.
Federal government's already told us we don't have $200 million to provide you for Port of Entry 1.
And having 2 private entries would disperse traffic, shortening wait times, and Mayor Sanchez said it would bring new business.
Once you start moving traffic through it, private vehicles, you're going to have your gas stations, you're going to have your convenience stores, and the thing is, we need those right now.
Mayor Sanchez says he will continue to push for support from Governor Jan Brewer on this issue. He says an ideal wait time should be 20 to 25 minutes if the commercial port of entry conversion happens.
And Yuma Lettuce Days plans to sprout in a new location.
The annual festival of the area's ag industry is moving to an actual farm that's starting next year. Here are details about why the decision to relocate was made.
Put it on your calendars. February 28th and March 1st. It's a Saturday and a Sunday.
Out with the old and in with the new. The annual festival that celebrates the area's agricultural abundance will sprout in a new home in 2015. The Yuma Visitors Bureau partnered with the U of A to move Lettuce Days to the University of Arizona's Yuma Agricultural Center.
Moving it to an actual working farm just brings a really unique and authentic experience for the people coming out. And so we think that we're going to be able to offer so much more and really promote agriculture and promote the University of Arizona Cooperative Extension.
Lettuce Days outgrew the Quartermaster Depot. The new location allows the festival to host more than 20,000 people. Don't worry, all of the things you love about Lettuce Days will still take place. Some new activities are also added to the agenda.
There will be more for kids to do. We're looking at the 4-H students doing a petting zoo. There will be more agriculture hands-on type of experiences. Tractor demonstrations. We'll have field worker demonstrations. We're hoping to have some in-classroom type of seminars that'll be going on.
Reporting in Yuma, Kelly Taylor, News 11. Now, the Quartermaster Depot will continue to host the Yuma Visitors Bureau's Harvest Dinner, and that will take place February 26th of next year. And the U.S. Army celebrated its 239th birthday June the 14th.
And Yuma Proving Ground recognized a special event Tuesday afternoon. Here's the story. In honor of the United States Army's 239th birthday, Yuma Proving Ground hosted a celebratory luncheon today.
Yeah, it's just a typical kind of birthday celebration. It's a chance to get together and talk about what the Army's done over the past year and what it's done over its centuries of existence. And most of all, probably get a chance to celebrate with the workforce and thank them for all the great things that they're doing for the Army. Awards
were handed out by Colonel Reed Young. This day is a celebration, but also a remembrance of what the Army stands for.
The Army means a lot because I joined the military because of 9/11. It was a very touching day for me because I went to high school in New York and I saw when the second plane hit the tower, and I figured I just needed to do something.
The post's youngest and oldest soldiers had a traditional cutting of the Army cape. The celebration continues Thursday for YPG. That's when Colonel Young will retire and hand over the change of command. Coming up in Sunrise Sports, up-and-coming area athletes are getting a good taste of the game of volleyball at Arizona Western College, camp style. We'll tell you why the camp is benefiting everyone involved.
And coming up next in your full weather, I'll tell you why temperatures today may be a little lower than you'll see for the rest of the week. I'll have all your details in your 8-day forecast coming up after the break.
Words of Greg Laguna, former COFA baseball coach and current San Luis softball coach. And for me personally, I had the chance to see Gwynn play as a youngster, both in Yuma as well as San Diego. And let me tell you, he's the reason why I was not only a San Diego Padre fan, but a fan of the game of baseball. His humility on and off the field in his class was an ultimate example to me, not only of sports, but of life as well. Ultimate class act. Tony Gwynn was one of a kind, and he'll greatly be missed. We're done with this round of Sunrise Sports. We're going to go ahead and send it back your way.
Coming up after the break, we'll be talking about the dinner theater called Exhibit This, opening this Friday. All right, welcome back. So I'm here with Chris Franey. He's the actor in the upcoming dinner theater opening this Friday called Exhibit This. Why don't you tell us about the show?
Well, let's see. Exhibit This is a collection of short stories about art coming to life, and you get to hear about their difficulties and what's going on with them. We will have a lot of new actors coming in, some actors coming fresh from a show. So it's going to be really exciting. A lot of us will be doing monologues, dialogues with each other. So it's going to be a neat little collection. There's a lot of humor. A lot of poking at theater and art itself, so if you're a buff of either one of those worlds, you're going to get a lot of great inside jokes.
Why don't you tell us where we can get our tickets at?
If you go to the City of Yuma website /events, they will have tickets there. If you actually go to the Yuma Art Center in person, you can also pick up tickets at their location. They should be $25, and it will give you a dinner and a show.
And what restaurant is serving the meals for this show?
The meals will be provided by Desert Hills. They will be providing your course.
Okay, and how long is the show?
The show should roughly run around 2 hours, give or take. There will be an intermission, and so it should be clocking in around there.
So what are you looking forward to most?
Well, there's one scene that's really neat. It's called Oda's Antiquities, and myself and my co-star will actually be dressed up as Egyptian Ra and Queen, so it'll be kind of neat. We get to play this royalty. The costumes look really fun, so that'll be a neat one because we kind of banter back and forth as a very old couple. So.
Well, I might have to check this out. Thanks so much for coming in.
Yeah, thank you very much for having us.
And now back to Kelly at the desk.
All right, thanks, Molly. Coming up in the second half hour of Sunrise, a wildfire continues to spread in central Washington. Here, coming up on Sunrise, as the violence in Iraq continues, President Obama and congressional leaders are contemplating airstrikes. Hear the latest on whether the president will authorize a strike.
Plus, find out why a Democratic candidate has changed his name.
And an Air Force base in California was locked down after reports of an unauthorized person with a gun. Here are the details of that search. Today is Tuesday, June 18th. Sunrise continues now.
Live from KYMA Studios, this is News 11 Sunrise, your #1 source for news in the desert Southwest.
Good morning, everyone.
Thanks for joining us here on Sunrise.
Yes, thank you for joining us. And if you're just getting up, we have a different face here today. We have Molly Lang. She's our newest KYMA team member. She's filling in for Joey Norton, who has the day off.
All right.
So let's go ahead and start outside right now. We have 75 degrees in Yuma, 68 degrees in Blythe, and 69 degrees in El Centro. Watches and warnings are all clear for us, but if you take a look at that little pink dot in the right upper corner, that just means that there's a fire warning, no burning, because it's going to be very dry, very windy, and very hot temperatures in that area. And as you take a look at the local radar and satellite, a few clouds rolled in overnight, but it's all cleared out by this morning. I'll have more for you in your 8-day forecast, which is coming up in just a little bit. So President Obama sits down with congressional leaders today before announcing whether he'll authorize airstrikes against Sunni militants in Iraq.
Tracy Potts is following developments this morning from Washington.
The majority leader.
Top Democrats and Republicans are coming to the White House today to hear how President Obama plans to deal with Sunni militants trying to take over Iraq.
The president must quickly provide us with a strategy and a plan that address the threat posed by the insurgency.
The challenge is what is in our interest, what are the consequences to us.
As of today, the militant group ISIS is believed to control 6 cities in Iraq, and they're fighting for 6 more.
They have $1 billion. They have heavy weapons. Reports now they have 2 helicopters. This is an al-Qaeda army on the move.
Before authorizing airstrikes, President Obama is pressing Iraq's Prime Minister, Nouri al-Maliki, to make his government more inclusive.
I am not convinced that Maliki is going to change his stripes. He's proven to be an unrequited Shiite dictator.
The United Nations has independently verified what it calls cold-blooded executions of Iraqi soldiers shown in these pictures and video. Now, the fight is getting closer to Baghdad. Tracy Potts, NBC News, Washington.
The federal government is spending about $264 a month for every Obamacare customer receiving a premium subsidy. That's according to a new report from the Department of Health and Human Services. Americans using the Affordable Care Act for coverage are paying about $82 a month on average. With the subsidy, HHS says about 87% of Obamacare users qualified for subsidies. Those credits are based on income. The less you earn, the more you can get. The Congressional Budget Office estimates taxpayers will spend $12 billion this year to cover those subsidies. Nearly 5.5 million people have signed up for Affordable Care Act coverage through the healthcare.gov website.
Now, Los Angeles Air Force Base was locked down Tuesday afternoon. Military personnel and police conducted a building-to-building search for an unauthorized person. There were reports of an intruder with a backpack that had wires sticking out of it. There was also a report that the authorized person possibly had ammunition. So far, there was no sign of a suspect during that search. Now, vehicles were not allowed to exit or enter the base, and personnel were sheltering in place. After an hour of long search, no threat was found and the lockdown was lifted.
One person is dead, another critically injured after a car slams into a Los Angeles area bus stop. It happened Tuesday morning as people were waiting alongside the road in San Fernando Valley, north of LA. Police say the car hit another vehicle before spinning out of control. Security video captures the moment the car slams into the stop. You can see one man just narrowly escape getting hit. Police said a man sitting on one of the benches was thrown several yards and was killed instantly. A woman in her mid-20s sitting on the other bench was critically injured.
And I'm definitely going to have nightmares about it because I've never experienced this type of experience ever, being that close to death like that.
A wildfire burning in central Washington state continues to spread this morning. The so-called Cottonwood 2 fire is burning about 9 miles north of Selah, Washington, in Yakima County. So far, flames have consumed more than 10,000 acres of grass and shrub. About a dozen homes in the rural area are threatened. Now, more than 100 firefighters, along with helicopters and air tankers, are battling the flames. The fire was reportedly started Tuesday when sparks at the informal shooting range ignited dry grass.
An Arizona man running for Congress using the name Cesar Chavez will not be on the primary ballot. A judge ruled Tuesday that the man once known as Scott Fistler did not have enough signatures to appear on the ballot.
Now, Fistler has been under fire from those who say he changed his name to Cesar Chavez and registered as a Democrat in an effort to appeal to Hispanic voters. Reporter Bram Rinsink has more.
Chavez was laboring.
Let me start off by saying my legal name is Cesar Chavez. There's no objection?
As his own attorney and as his only witness.
There's some Kleenex there for you if you need them.
He'd lost elections before as Republican candidate Scott Fistler. Now he was fighting an attempt to remove him as the renamed Democrat Cesar Chavez from the ballot in the heavily Latino and Democrat 7th Congressional District.
I thought that it was wrong. As a constituent in the district, and I kind of felt it to be a little insulting.
That is Alejandro Chavez, grandson of the labor leader. He sued to kick this Cesar Chavez out of the Democratic primary.
The candidate is short 295 signatures.
It wasn't his famous name that got Chavez tossed. He flunked a basic signature test. But what about his name change? Was he trying to fool Latino voters?
And I like Julio Cesar Chavez. I like Eric Cesar Chavez, the baseball player here in Arizona Diamondbacks.
So this had nothing to do with you knowing how popular Cesar Chavez is in the Latino community. Is that right?
You want to know it? No, it has nothing to do with him because you know what? He's been dead for like 20 years, people, and I'm not dead. And furthermore, it's like I also took into consideration of my dog's favorite dog food, which is Cesar brand dog food, people.
The judge said he can file an appeal to get back on the ballot. This Cesar Chavez still thinks he can.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's not true.
Now, Chavez says he plans to take his case to the Arizona Supreme Court.
Some people jump at the chance to clean windows, but these just aren't any windows. They're the panes of glass underneath the Grand Canyon.
Crystal Henderson reports getting the Skywalk cleaned isn't exactly easy.
Think walking on the Skywalk is nerve-wracking. Try hanging below it.
I was like, what the heck? People are crazy.
It looks pretty nuts, you know.
Well, it's definitely a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Not every day you get to hang off the Grand Canyon.
The trick to keeping his cool?
I don't look down. Try to focus on my job at hand. Not really worry too much about what's underneath me. I already know it's a long way down.
4,700 feet down. Michael Duran and his crew dangling under the Skywalk using nearly 5,000 feet of rope.
This is our Super Bowl today. The Skywalk doesn't get better than this. This is puts us in rope access heaven in history. This is the longest rappel in rope access.
They're preparing to clean the Skywalk, which hundreds of thousands of people from all over the world step out on every year.
The window part's the easy part. That's the service. You know, that ain't nothing. This is the technical part. This is why we trained.
It takes thousands of hours of practice to get to do a job like his. It may not be something you'd sign up for, but some jump at the chance.
These guys are licking their chops to get a piece of this job. Those are bragging rights for life.
Minus the nerves, Duran says there's nothing like a bird's eye view of one of the 7 natural wonders of the world.
It's a great view. It's nice when you get a chance to kind of stop and look. It's really awesome. It's a kind of a awe-inspiring experience.
If you've ever had the urge to be your own boss, you might have considered a franchise. Good idea?
Here's Money reporter Stacey Johnson with the nation's top franchises and some things you should think about.
So what we're going to do, I've got a lady in one of my gyms, she's lost 200+ pounds, and to see someone genuinely not only change their life, but save their life is the reason I got in this business. So it's more about people than it is profits, but the profits come if you take care of the people.
A few years ago, Brian Kleinschmidt exercised his right to become his own boss by buying a franchise from Anytime Fitness. Today, he owns 4 locations.
A franchise is essentially a ready-made business. They give you the product, sometimes the location, the advertising, the training. In short, they do the heavy lifting. All you need to do is bring some time and some money.
Anytime Fitness was recently named the nation's top franchise by Entrepreneur magazine. Among other factors, they considered financial strength and stability, growth rate, and the size of the franchise system. Here's a look at the top 5 with the average cost. Anytime Fitness takes $56,000 to $350,000 to open. Number 2, Hampton Hotels cost between $3.7 and $13.5 million. Subway, $86,000 to $260,000. Supercuts takes $109,000 to $204,000 to start. And number 5, Jimmy John's, costs from $300,000 to nearly $500,000.
Now, franchisees do have to share their revenue with corporate headquarters, but still, you've got a proven product and the training. So if you feel like you're on a treadmill going nowhere, maybe you want to try a franchise yourself. What's Brian's single best piece of advice before you go down this road?
Before getting involved with any franchise, find something you are passionate about. Yes, you can make money doing anything you want, but if you're not passionate about it, it's not going to last.
Is a franchise business something you can be passionate about? Well, learn more by going to MoneyTalksNews.com and just doing a search for franchise. For Money Talks News, I'm Stacey Johnson.
Make my Whopper pretty. A jokester turns crusader to ensure the fast food in your box looks exactly like what's on the box.
Jeannie Most reports on a hidden camera quest to make fast food look as good as it does in ads. Thanks, Jackie. So you've all heard the joke, why did the chicken cross the road? We'll tell you why, and it's not to get to the other side. But we'll have the answer for you right after this. Stay with us. All right, happy birthday, Blake Shelton. Today he is going to be, I believe, 48 years old.
38.
38. Sorry, Blake. You don't look as old as 48. Sorry about that. So happy birthday to you. He's a country singer, and he's also a coach on The Voice.
All right, well, just call him the Chicken Whisperer. Chris Williams, a reporter with NBC affiliate KPNX in Phoenix, helped officers rescue 2 chickens off of a busy highway on Tuesday. The accident happened on the 202 highway Tuesday afternoon.
Now, a mangled chicken coop laid splintered in the slow traffic lanes. The cops had no luck trying to wrangle the 2 birds running afoul, but the journalists seemed to have the right touch to catch them. Minutes later, the free birds were in the back of squad cars. Casey at DeWitt Stables will care for the chickens for now. They could end up as a child's 4-H project. And I don't know if I would actually help catch those chickens, but
yeah.
All right. Thank you guys for joining us. I will be off tomorrow as well as Joey, so
I'll
Molly will
be
be here. Have a good day.
See you then.